a bed, sofa, etc. Just organize that a little bit better. Right then. Here we go. So we're going to start off with the 90-90 sort of Cobra switchy flowy thing. So whichever way you want to set up your 90-90, it can be the 90-90, or it could be more like a shin box, whichever. But you're going to rotate towards the front knee. Yeah, so we're rotating that way. The hands are going to come down and the back leg comes over. So you're essentially rolling onto your front. Once here, you're going to come up into your Cobra. And that could be low if you're feeling a little bit stiff this morning. It could be high, wherever. But you really want to pull the shoulders away, open the chest. Lower down slightly, don't want to come all the way down, but pick up your, oh, it's the opposite leg. I should have called it. Doesn't matter. Pick up one leg and that becomes your back leg in your 90-90. Yeah. So if you're like me and it's your right knee that's now forward, if not, swap over and then I can do left and right. So you want your right knee forward. Yeah. And then we're going to come up into our kneeling position and open the front of the hips. Yep. So softly down, it's the back leg that comes over. So you're going to twist, put your hands down, bring the back leg over and rotate over onto your tummy, and then push up into your Cobra. Yep. Come down. It's then your right leg that lifts, and that becomes your back leg of your 90-90. And then you come up into your kneeling position and open the front of the hip. Sit yourself back down, rotate towards the left, bring the hands down, bring the right leg over, roll over onto your tummy, lift up into your Cobra. And then the left leg picks up, that becomes your back leg in your 90-90, and you come up to your kneeling position, opening the front of the hips. Soften back down, rotate to the right, hands come down all the way around, hands come down. You roll over into your Cobra and lift. Slightly lower and then lift the right leg. That becomes your back leg. And lift. Lower yourself back down, rotate to the left. Back leg comes over, you roll onto your tummy and lift into your Cobra. Left leg comes over, that becomes your back leg, and we lift. And release. One last time each side. Down into your Cobra. Right leg is lifting to become your back leg. You come up to your kneeling position. Lower back down. Twist your left. Back leg comes over. Lift up into your Cobra. And then release back down. Nicely done. It's just a nice flow. Where's my shoe? Need your shoe. I'm doing an arm bar. So I've done this without any kind of, this is another one that you eventually do with weight. It's really good for shoulders. So you're going to lie on your back. Help, cat. Shift yourself. Go on. And put the shoe on your, let's go right fist. My shoes, because they're so light, I can't actually feel it on my fist. I'm definitely going to drop this on my face. So you've got your shoe on your right hand, you've got your left arm overhead. I'm going to bend the right knee in towards your chest, and then you're going to take the right knee all the way over your body to the floor. So you're rolling over and resting your head on your arm. Yep. And the hand is still to the ceiling, obviously, otherwise your shoe will hit your face. And you're going to start to straighten that right leg. It's not going to go all the way straight. What all it's doing is encouraging you then to roll your hips that little bit further down towards the floor. So from here, we're going to breathe. You're going to inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to take that top hip, your right hip bone, closer to the floor. But all the time, the arm stays vertical to the sky. Inhale again, exhale, twist a little bit further. Inhale, exhale, you get the idea, yeah? Now, if you had sort of more weight in your hand, that could be something like a water bottle, your shoulder would be making all sorts of adjustments to manage that weight. It's probably doing the same here. This is more about just keeping you honest. So as you twist the pelvis, because your shoulder is vertical to the sky, you're actually rotating a little bit more through the spine rather than just rolling over. Okay, and then we're going to reverse that movement. So you start to roll back, the leg comes back up towards the chest, you roll back through center, and then we switch over. So swap the shoe onto your other hand. So the shoe's on the left hand, the right arm goes overhead, the left knee comes to the chest, it comes all the way over, you roll the pelvis over, rest your head on your arm, start to straighten the left leg, and then on an exhale, take that left hip bone closer to the floor. Inhale, exhale. Nice deep breath. Encouraging the body just into that little bit more of rotation. And then reverse, slide the knee back up. Unroll. Take the leg back down and remove your shoe for the time being. We've got a few more of those for later, something different. And then we're going to come in straight into our hamstring. Hamstring bridges to a chair, to a bed, to a sofa, to the floor. You know the score by now, so I'm not going to show you the floor version. We're just going to crack on single leg. Single leg is too hard, go double leg, right? Don't, you know, we talked the other day about going to failure, and that's fine, but your failure is as long as you are still performing, you know, proper, God, what do they call it? Form. You want your technique to be right, essentially. So whichever leg you want, lift the other leg, slight bend in the knee, press down into the heel, slight bend, Kelly, and then lift the hips. Pressing down, everything from the middle finger, the forearm, the backs of the arms, and the backs of the shoulders. So keeping the chest wide, lifting and lowering. Try and ensure that your pelvis is coming down square, so you should come down right in the center or weight evenly distributed across the back of your pants. We've got 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. And then we're going to switch straight into the side. So pressing down into the heel, we lift and lower. If you're fatiguing before I do, or you want to keep going on one side longer, that's absolutely fine. Make sure you can still feel the backs of your shoulders on the mats and they're not curling up or lifted towards your ears. Last couple, or at least when you're ready, switch sides. We're going to do the same again on each side. Lifting and lowering. At any point, if you're cramping, feel free to stretch out your hamstrings. When you're ready, switching sides. I'm going to call it a draw there. Keep your chair because we're going to come back to it. Shift back, or however you've organized yourself, come back to your mat is basically what I'm saying. We're coming to our crab position. So we're coming to some crab touches just to lengthen off the hamstrings. Done these before. Find your letter M shape, open the chest, lift the gaze, push down into the floor to lift the hips, and then we're going to right hand, left foot. So you can start off here with this kind of bent leg, and nice and steady to start with. And then as you kind of get the hang of it, see if you can straighten your leg. So it's just I'm calling it like an active hamstring stretch this morning, just after all those hamstring raises we did. So switching sides. And each time you switch, want to make sure that you are pushing the floor away with the hand that's on the floor, obviously. See how high you can lift your leg. It's all controlled. No flinging, no kicking. She says, nearly falling over. Last one. And then lower back down, and then come straight back to your chair. So we're going again, 2 sets. single leg. And your choice when you swap, could do more than 2 sets. You could kind of do less reps than 3, your choice. Kind of know what you're doing now. Up the chest, press down with the arms, press down with the heel, off we go, lift and lower. That's me starting to lose form on that side, so I'm going to switch there. Same on that side, so switching again. Oh, getting tired on this side a lot quicker, and switching one last time for me. And that's me done. So when you're ready, come back to your crab toe touches, not switches, crab toe touches. Oh, press the floor away, lift the gaze, lift the chest, and then stretching the hamstrings as you reach for your toe. Last 3, last 2, and rest. Okay, so coming over, we've been playing with these beast positions, the unload, etc. We've got plenty of time to play with this morning. I'm hoping that your mats are sticky enough, because we're not moving too much, we can stay on the mat. So I'm going to bring the knees under the belly button, hands under shoulders, hover the knees, and then sink the hips back. The knees will flare out slightly wider, so you want some tension in the glutes, and then walk the hands away. So you're coming out into your loaded beast. At any point here, as I've just done, because I've got grit under my hands, lower the knees down. It's a sneaky place to rest. Yeah, so all I've done is come right out to child's pose and put my knees down. But they need to hover at some point. So we're going to hover the knees. We're going to come into an unload. So you're tucking the chin, tucking the tail, keep the knees the same level, and bring the shoulders in front of the wrists. If you've got this right, your legs won't go straight. So this is your unload. We're just unloading that beast position. While you're here, tuck the tail even more, squeeze the glutes, neck in line with spine, but tucked. And then to take it back, we reverse. Make sure your knees stay the same height above the floor. Up to heels, same thing, beast unload. Tuck the tail, tuck the chin, come forward, keep the knees low. See if you've got any more, see if you can bring the wrists, the shoulders past the wrists. Squeeze the glutes, take it back. One more time, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, unload, squeeze the glutes, and then take it back. Once you're here, lower the knees, and you can put your elbows down, which just gives you a little bit of a reprieve on your wrists. So then we're going to go to what we did yesterday, which is the wave unload. Yeah. So set up with your loaded beast, lift the elbows, walk the arms right out, or walk the hands right out, lift the knees up. This time the hips go to the sky. You want to lift the hips as far as you can, really come up onto the toes, and then tuck the tail again. The tail tucks, chin tucks, you start to come forward, the hips come down. The shoulders will come past the wrists again slightly. The hips lower, you squeeze the glutes, the chest comes forward and the head comes up. To go back, chin comes to chest, round your upper back. So you have to push the floor away with the arms. Round the upper back, mid back, lower back, lift the hips up, right up onto the toes, lift, 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 lift. And then come back down to your loaded beast. We're going a little bit quicker. Lift the hips, round forward, chin tucked, tail tucked, all the way Drop the hips as much as you're comfortable with, but chest up and chin up. Tuck the chin round the spine to go back. Lift, lift, lift the hips, hips up, hips up. Lower back down to beast, loaded beast. One more time, hips up, nice and high. Round the tail, round through the spine. Looking for a wave. Hips come down. Chest lifts, chin lifts. Going back, chin first. Push the flow wave round the upper back, mid back, lower back. Hips high, lower back to loaded beast, and rest the knees down. And you can come off your wrists for a moment. So we've got one last one to add into that, and then we're going to put them together. It's just going to be a wrist touch from that position. We do it yesterday? I think we did it yesterday. We'll see. All right, so same thing. Toes are tucked, knees are slightly wider. Come back into your loaded beast. Once you're here, hover the knees. So from here, all you're going to do is come forward to a plank, bringing the right knee to the left wrist, and you're going to drive the knee into the wrist to create tension. It's going to go back, and you're going to come straight back to your loaded beast. Same on the other side, forward, knee to wrist. Take it back. And repeat the other side. Drive the knee into the wrist, feel the tension, and then take it back. One last time, forward. Drive the knee into the wrist, take it back, and then lower the knees. Okay, so we've got that actually leads into something else, but we'll call it a draw there for the moment. So we've got your loaded beast into your unload, into your wave, into the wrist touch. I'm going to go through them. All right, we'll call it as we go. Wriggle your wrists if you need it. Otherwise, off we go. Toes tucked, knees slightly wider than hips. Walk the hands away. Once you're here, push the floor away so that you can lift your knees up and we unload. So coming forward, knees low, chin tucked, tail tucked. All the way. Your knees should still be bent, tail tucked, squeezing the glutes, and then take it back. We'll go wave and load, lift the hips up high. Organize your feet if you need to. Chucking the chin, rounding the spine. I'm forever chucking the chin at the moment. All the way down. Lower the hips, chest and chin are the last to lift. Going back, chin tucks, round out through the spine. Try and find that wave on the way back, lifting the hips up nice and high, and then lowering the knees to loaded beast. And then we come forward, right knee, left wrist, drive it in, take it back, left knee, right wrist, drive it in, take it back. We go again, unload. Take it back, wave, unload, lift the hips, round through. Chest, chin, last to come. Chin tucks first, round through the spine to take it back up. Lower the knees. Wrist touch. Your choice which side, doesn't matter. Drive it in. Take it back. Opposite side. Take it back. And lower the knees. Well done. Oh, you can have a moment there. Wiggle from side to side. Again, it kind of feels nice. Oy. Good, right. Let's go to standing. A variation on a windmill. I suppose it's a windmill. You've got your shoe. I'm loving the shoe exercises. I'm just going to bring the screen up a little bit because I'm going to be standing for a while. Let's just lift this so I can see myself. Okay, so this side, legs wide. You go shoe, whichever hand, doesn't matter. I'll go right hand and then I could call left and rights again. So same thing. Want my elbow pit, line at my elbow, kind of facing towards me, which means I've turned my arm bone out instead of just allowing it to kind of collapse in. So as best you can, keep your elbow pit where it is. You're going to turn your left foot out. So it's facing the other way, 90 degrees. So from there, legs are going to stay straight. The left hand is going to slide down in between the thighs. You're kicking your right hip out and coming down. It's all, there's a yoga pose here. I know there is, I can't remember what it's called, but they call it a windmill when you're doing kettlebells and stuff. So you're looking up at your shoe. You might not have got to floor, that's okay. Breathe here. And then as you come back up, reverse the movement all the way to standing. Good, so we're gonna go again. So kick the right hip out. You wanna twist, it's almost like I'm twisting my body to the right to then come down, sliding the hand down towards the floor, looking up at my top hand, and then reversing that movement. So side bend up, and then unrotate at the top. Same again. So twisting, kick the hip out, slide the hand down, looking up at your shoe, breathe, and then reverse the movement, coming all the way up and releasing. Turn the foot in. So you're both feet now, 10 to 2, or thereabouts. Opposite hand. I was going to say opposite shoe then, opposite hand. Oh, these shoes are shocking for this. I'm having to be super careful, which is probably not a bad thing. So same again on this side, kick the hip out first. The chest is going to rotate so that you come down, you're trying to come down almost like you're straight across this side of your waist. Now, if you like, I don't know if you can see, if you're facing, my shoulder wants to do this here. It wants to collapse right forward. So I'm having to turn it all the way around. So I'm trying to open here, not let it collapse forward. One side wants to do that. And then come it all the way back up. Untwist. So same again, we kick the hip out first. And twist. So it's almost like the shoulder's leading the way down, the right shoulder. Hand drops towards the floor, might not get there. I'm desperately trying to control my shoulder on this side. God, that's hard work. And then slowly coming back up. One last time on this side, kick the hip out, let the body rotate round. Hand comes down towards the floor. Keep turning the shoulder, keep turning the shoulder. If you've got a naughty one like mine. And then sliding back up and releasing. And you bring your hand down for a moment, give your shoulders a whirl if they need it. How we do for time? We're good. I'm going to be rubbish at this morning, so desperately need Simon's shoe. So let's go. Which way was it? I can never remember. If we had the shoe here, yeah. So same as we did yesterday. So right hand, right shoe. I was going to say, oh dear, left and right. So same as we did yesterday. That's all we're doing. So if your shoe's on your right hand, you're going to step back with your left leg. You come down to your 90-90 lunge. Got all that? We twist the back leg in. So I'm creating all these angles like a square or a box. And you're going to bring your hand down in line with the left knee. And then from there, we're going to bend the elbow again. So you're going to bend the elbow, sit the hips down, bend the elbow towards the floor. Now keep pushing the right knee away from you. It's going to want to cave, push it away. And straighten the elbow. Bend and straighten. One last time, bend and straighten. Take the hand off the floor, untwist the back leg. We're going to come up to standing, but you're going to add in the balance. So you come up out of your lunge, step forward to balance. Oh, I managed it. I didn't think I would. It's the shoes flying everywhere. If the shoes adding in too much complexity, you can skip it. But otherwise, step back to your lunge position. It's going. Come down onto your 90-90. Twist the back foot in. Bring the hand down. Make sure you leave plenty of space for your elbow to bend. So same again. Oh God, they're gonna lose this shoe. Bend the elbow. For 3, for 2, got a quiver on. 1. Take the hand off the floor, twist the back leg so you're straight again. Come up into your balance. And you'd be pleased to hear we've only got time for 2 on each side. So you can switch hands. Left hand up towards the ceiling. You'll see my elbow bending. It's the only way I can balance this shoe. Ideally, you need something heavier than what I've got here because you want to be able to be pushing to the sky and keeping the arm kind of locked out. But anyway, it is what it is. Note to self, pick a heavier shoe. Oh, so same on this side. So it's if your left hand, you've got your right foot going back, drop down to your 90-90. If you need to organize that a bit more, that's fine. Twist the back leg in, bring the right hand down, giving yourself enough room to bend the elbow. See if you can push the hand towards the ceiling a little bit more. Push the left leg away and then bend the elbow down to the floor and straighten. Bend and straighten. Last one, bend and straighten. Hand comes up off the floor, untwist the back leg. And from there, coming up into balance. But coming up, step forward to your balance. Straight back into another set. Take the foot back, 90-90. Twist the back leg, hand comes down. Keep pushing the left leg away from you. You should be able to see the arch of the foot. Bend the elbow, for 3, for 2, for 1. Lift the hand off the floor, untwist the back leg, get nice and straight, coming up to your balance. See how high you can lift the front leg, as always. And then release back down, and you can take your shoe off. And we come down, finishing off with our pretzel. So when you come down into your pretzel, there's a tendency to be on your shoulder here, yeah. It kind of makes things a little bit difficult. I was kind of playing with this yesterday because I found that I could open a little bit more, and I didn't know whether it was because I found a cheat or whether it was because I found more mobility. I think it was because of a cheat. So if you get your body almost like you're already opening to the sky, in other words, I'm on my shoulder blade instead of the side of my arm, is what I'm saying. Then grab hold of the knee, then grab hold of the ankle, pull that bottom leg back. It's almost like you sort of halfway there, if that makes sense. So you might have already done this. I've been setting up on my shoulder and then having to sort of, when I open, it's kind of gone, I've had to sort of itch my way around. You might have already been brighter than me and set up on your shoulder blade. Or it does mean I can't get my knee to the floor yet, but I've got my foot to the floor for a change. So for me, it's just a different experience. I could get more rotation through my upper back. It helps my breathing. I'm not panicky breathing as much for whatever reason. I've not worked out why, not bothered. I'm just all for stuff that works. And eventually I'll get enough length down this top leg that I can, oh, there it goes, knee to floor. And then slowly unravel. And if all that waffle didn't make sense, don't worry about it. I'm forever playing with movements and seeing how they go. So when I turn over onto this side, I'm going to do the same. Instead of setting up on the outside of my arm, I'm going to set up more towards the shoulder blade. Top knee, bottom ankle, pull that bottom leg back. Oh, but even with the better setup, still tighter on this side. As you could probably tell from my breathing, which is now panicking again. Panicky breathing. And I wiggle my way around a little bit more, right? So foot down, but knees completely off on this side. And when I say foot down, I mean little toe. It's just a matter of noticing. You can't do anything unless you're aware of it. So I'm noticing the fact that my breathing is crap on this side. Only my little toe touches. I'm struggling to hold my ankle and my knee doesn't want to touch. And it just feels awful on this side. And then slowly release. Yeah, weirdly awful this morning on that side for some bizarre reason. Oh, how are we doing? We're all right. It's Thursday. That means it's Friday tomorrow. Yay, Friday. Oh, and I'm off to Ipswich. I'm off to Ipswich, but I'll be back Sunday night. So we're back on it on Monday. But we've got tomorrow to do. How was that? Did we find the unloady stuff and the wavy stuff okay? Everybody all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shoe
Good.
felt better today.
The shoe felt better today.
Or fell better, I don't know.
Not fell better. You can't beat a good shoe, can you?
Yeah.
Is it, there's a reason why, I don't know, it depends, you know, as we move towards January, at some point we're going to have to add a little bit of weight to this. It's supposed to be a strength session, and I, you know, as much as I love body weight, you know, I've kind of stayed away from the bands a little bit, because the thing that I noticed with the bands in the last thing was we all lost a little bit of the good form. You know, the technique wasn't quite as nice as what I see when you don't have that sort of layer of complexity. So that's why I've steered clear of the bands. But when we add in sort of, it can be water bowls, it could be, I'll think of something. You don't really necessarily need to go out and buy some weights, but sort of come January, I'm going to sort of head that way. It's up to you guys. It's your session at the end of the day. Carry on with body weight. It's still useful, but at some point, I think some of these exercises could do with a little bit of weight, particularly leg stuff, you know, like the lunges and squats. Doing them body weight starts to get a little bit kind of almost pointless. There's just not enough stimulus for your body to kind of build some strength there, and that's kind of what we need. Right, I'm going to stop waffling at you. Have a good day, chaps, and I will see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.